welcome to my channel. I'm just going to tell a few stories and give you all a chance to know me a little better. I've been through a lot of crazy crap in my life. I'd like to be able to share some of it. I'm an old man now, and of course I love metal music all through my life actually. My first concert was when I was 16, and it was Jay Giles, Johnny Winter, and ZZ Top, all three, at Tulsa Speedway in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And that was my first concert. Later on, a few years later, I went to Texas Jam. I went to the very first Texas Jam. That was in 1978. And it was Ted Nugent, Hart, Van Halen, Mahogany Rush, Atlanta Rhythm Section, Walter Egan, Eddie Money. I think I'm leaving someone out. I'm sure I am, but it was over like 105, 110 degrees in the Cotton Bowl. People were dropping like flies. You can Google it, 1978 Texas World Music Festival, and Van Halen was there playing, on their debut album. So I got to see Eddie do it from the beginning. And they were good in concert back then too. They had a good sound. Like, some bands didn't have good sound back in those days, but Van Halen had good sound. I ended up going to 2 or 3 more Texas Jams in later years through the 80s. So I saw a lot of bands there. I went to Kane's Ballroom a lot in the 80s in Tulsa. I saw Steve Vai play back then. I saw Kenny Wayne Shepherd when he was just a teenage runt playing at Kane's Ballroom, and let's see, who all did I see? I saw a lot of people there. There's a Government Mule, they had a lot of blues-based bands that went through Tulsa that played at Kane's Ballroom back in those days. And I saw Aerosmith a bunch of times. My ex-wife's uncle was Stevie Tyler's bodyguard, personal security guard. So we got some passes and all that, and backstage meet and greet tickets and all that one time because of that. It was fun. I got to meet Joe Perry, and one time I had a band and we were playing in Arlington, Texas. We weren't playing. That's where I lived at the time. And I was practicing with this band and living at an apartment complex there called Park Springs Apartments in Arlington, right on the city line of Pantego, Texas, and Arlington, Texas. And right behind our apartment complex was Pantego Sound Studio, which is where Pantera was from, and they recorded their albums and whatnot there at Pantego Sound Studio. And people around knew them. They were a lot of people knew them. They were just around everywhere. They played at all the local clubs, and anyway, like one time we were practicing in our jam room in Arlington one day. We hear a knock on the door, and we go over there and answer the door, and it was DimeBag. And the singer in our band, Russell Eller, he was best friends with DimeBag. They hung out all the time and wrote music together, and you can look him up on Facebook, by the way, Russell Eller, and you can see his pictures and whatnot that he's got, you know. And he's got a pretty cool video out. But anyway, I'm getting off the topic here. Just, that was the first time I met DimeBag. And back then, they weren't signed to a big label yet. Although they had just, when I met them, they had just got off tour with Judas Priest in Europe. But we weren't aware of their status, or, you know, whether they had been signed or what they were doing exactly. They were always hanging out, and they were always one song away from being the biggest thing, you know, ever. They always said, we're getting signed, you know, next week and next month, or they were always going to get signed and get big, okay? So it was, when they said it that time, it was no different than any other time, so we just said, yeah, you know. And but come to find out, it was Cowboys from Hell that time. And yes, the rest was history. But I got to meet DimeBag a lot of times in the future there. I saw him in Tulsa, Kansas City, Dallas, numerous times. When they played in Tulsa, I took like 25 of my friends, and we all had backstage passes and went back and drank with Dime and Vinny, and it was fun. Phil was a character. They were all just real down to earth, real basic people, nice as they can be, never rude to anybody, you know. They always treated everybody like you were their best friend, you know. When he got shot, when that all happened up in Ohio that time, it was like, that's unbelievable, dude, no way, you know. But yeah, it shocked the whole world. So anyway, that's one of my stories. Kind of started off with my concerts and then swung right over into DimeBag. But it was a fun time in the 80s. We used to always, back then, we had Guitar Magazine for the practicing musician. And me and my friends, you know, every month a new one would come out. We'd always see who was on it, who was in it, you know, and read what they said. And my friend, he was into tablature, so he got a lot of tablature from that magazine back then. I never got into tablature, man. I'm not, you know, I'm an air player, and sitting and looking at something and studying that just ain't me, man. That's probably why I never became, you know, a real accomplished musician. I never really applied myself like I should have, but be that as it may. What you doing, Butters? Huh? Come here. You want to say hi? Come here. See if my dog will come say hi to us. Come here, Butters. Come here. Come here. Come up here and say hi. Come here. See? Look at you there. You're going to be famous, you know it? Yeah. Look at him. He's a cutie. Well, I was going to find out, you know, I heard that Zzounds Music Company, I heard that they had this program, you know, where they're giving no credit check and giving people the opportunity to buy instruments. And I wondered how legit it was, and so I went over to their site yesterday or the day before, and I looked at their guitars, and on the search field I put the cheapest guitars, priced from low to high. So the very first one, I thought, well, the very first one, whichever come up, whatever the cheapest one is, I'll try to buy it on credit. And just to buy, like they say, no credit check, filling it out, and that's that. And so the one I landed on, the one that was the cheapest guitar, was the Kramer Focus. Let me see it here. It's the Kramer Focus VT. Yeah, the Vt11s. So, and I got the one that is pewter gray, is what they call it. Which the rest of them, that was the coolest color, the pewter gray. I didn't care for all the real bright neon colors they had. So I got that, and it was also blemished. So it was $129, so I put it in the cart, and the payments were $27, each. I filled it all out. They sent me an email saying that was fine and everything went through, and the Kramer Focus was on its way. So I was supposed to have it here on Saturday, tomorrow. So tomorrow I get to open up a new guitar. It's the cheapest of the line. But it's mahogany body. I've read that. It has mahogany body. And it's cheap pickups, of course. And everything on that, that price point. The hardware is usually garbage, But we'll see. We'll play it and look at it. So that's where we're at on that. Kind of exciting. I'm getting my Floyd Rose and my wiring and pickups for the Wolfgang that I'm getting put back together this next week. So we'll be able to see that. And glad to see you. Hope you subscribe and like. I don't have very many people that come see me yet because I'm new. So I don't know if anybody will see me here or not. But I appreciate you guys, man. Come back and see me. Peace.